And Scott says, does the past always seem better than how the experience actually was during the present time? I often wonder about that, trying to keep you busy here. Okay, you're doing a good job. Because that sucker is a confusing shit they just said. Let me understand what the heck you mean. Elaborate a little, because it can go way different border. Does the past always seem better than now? Well, not always. Depends on what kind of a past, what kind of a story, what kind of an event, and what kind of a present, what kind of event. Same thing and same time span, same stuff. Or are we talking about, because I'm not sure if you're saying what happened in the past is happening now and you're comparing the two, or you say, does the past always seem better than how the experience actually was during the present time? You mean when you think about something that you do, you think it was better than when you were doing it? Is that what you're saying? So in other words, you think the memory of having dinner in a special restaurant seems better than when you were actually at that restaurant and having the dinner. It's hard to say because you're not comparing same experience at the same time. One is a memory, one is the actuality, and when you're thinking about it now, it's all memory because you didn't have this question when you were in that restaurant eating that food because it hadn't gone to the future to become a past yet. So you never had that experience of comparing that present when you were experiencing in that restaurant with what that experience at the time you were doing would have become the past in the future. So there is no way to tell really. However, it is always the past when you're comparing it. Right now you're comparing past with the past because right now is the past, and when you had it, you're not there now. So it's still a past to you. So it's all a memory, unless there's something you want to add. The only difference in this is that it's a difference between having cleaned up the meat and you barbecued it and now you're having it versus when you were cleaning it up and then barbecued it. Because when you're thinking about it, you don't think about the cleaning up. You just think about the barbecue ready to go and eat. So you're not really thinking about the whole restaurant. You went there, you wait for the reservation to be called in, and then you sat down and you were served. You're just focusing on the delicious food, generally good service, the dessert, selective memories, which is all condensed into one delicious experience without any sidetrackedness of getting there, parking the car, waiting in line, or being called in and sitting down. Waiter comes in and then this and that, so forth, and the food comes in, and then remembering while you were hungry and while waiting for the food. None of that. It's just whoop, only focus on you were there, she was there, she looked good, you smiled, you said good stuff, you pick up all the parts, and the food was good, and then you came home, and then you jump from finishing the food to home and having sex. So that whole thing is the memory, which you cut through the stuff, you don't see the preparation of it, and versus when you're there, all of that preparation and the experience is included. So somehow the memory is like the director's cut when all the extras of the movie is cut out and it's all focused on story and all the choreography, beauty, music, and all that. It all comes together. When you later on thinking about that restaurant, you remember the music, the food, the smile, the jokes, the hand holding, and then the sex, all in very close proximity and leading to each other, to another. But when you're there, the music is in the background. It could be actually annoying because you can't hear yourself well, and the experience is uncut and unfiltered. So it could be actually not as smooth as later on when director's cut is provided. So in that way, then the memory seems more enticing. That is why it's kind of seems like it's more colorful and more inviting, and therefore you miss it more, or you think it was wow. It wasn't. It would still be the same with another girl, another restaurant, if not even better. I hope that answered your question.